What's up, everybody? We have a big show for you today, guys. Big show. I'm excited. Brendan Schaub is absolutely cooked. He's wrong. He has a take that is absolutely wrong. You couldn't get more wrong. We're going to get into that. I know you guys like when I talk about Brendan Schaub, and man, he has a hot take and it's completely cold. It is absolutely wrong. Plus, Chael Sonnen's big Conor McGregor leak. Chael has an opinion that I absolutely agree with about Conor McGregor and Conor's next opponent. We're going to get into all that. And some people are saying that Chael's secretly leaking some stuff. We're gonna discuss whether that's true or not, because it very well may be true. Plus, UFC champion Aljamain Sterling must have done something to piss the UFC off. They literally took a bottle of rum and made him hide it at the table, even though he's got a liquor brand. He's not allowed to promote it. We're going to get into all that. MMA reporter Luke Thomas is absolutely triggered by Joe Rogan, the UFC White House card, and Dana White's friendship with Donald Trump. We're going to get into that and how triggered Luke Thomas is. Somebody needs to check and make sure he's okay, because he is big triggered. If we have time, we're going to get into Hamzat's recent comments about Ronda Rousey, because Hamzat has gone in on Ronda Rousey. We have a big show for you today, guys. Plus, I'm going to keep it real. I respond to every comment on the channel, and some of the comments are absolutely stupid. So I want to thank you if you've subscribed and have notifications on, because the live chat is always good, despite how stupid some people are in the comments. I did a video recently about Brock Lesnar and my uncle, my uncle by blood, Hulk Hogan. And I'm kicking insider knowledge about Hulk Hogan. And I've got people in the comment section telling me I'm wrong about my uncle. Like, bro, you're reading Reddit. I'm in person with the dude while he was alive. He's my fucking uncle. Like, and then they're going to argue with me in the comments. It's absolutely ridiculous. So if you're a real one, I appreciate you. If you are a dweeb and a dork and a pencil neck geek in the comments, man, you guys are cooked, man. These guys are cooked. We're going to get into some of that just for fun. Just because, that's what we do here. My name is King David MMA. I'm your host for the evening. I'm a professional MMA champion, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I coach at the world famous Gym of the Year, multiple years, best gym on the planet, Extreme Couture. And we're going to get into all that. But first, real quick, 2 seconds, guys. Check out Fight Circus, home of the freak show fights. I was with the owner of Fight Circus today. They got some big news about to drop. They have some big events coming up. Make sure you follow them on Instagram, because they're coming back to America. They're going worldwide. There's a lot of stuff going on with Fight Circus. And make sure you send your coach to StudioMillions.com. Studio Millions will pack their gym. They will love you. You will be putting food on their table just by telling them about one website. All you got to do is say, go to Studio Millions, and then make sure they do. And they will absolutely love you and thank you, because they're going to get the dream life of having a successful gym without all the stress. And it's because you recommended it. So they're going to thank you for it. So send your coach to StudioMillions.com. Let me take a sip of this Mountain Zevia. Man, I ordered a 24-pack, guys. Felony Charles Bennett was living with me. All he drinks is Mountain Dew. And we left a Mountain Dew over here, but I don't drink Mountain Dew anymore. I only drink the 0-calorie joints, guys. The all-natural 0-calorie joints. So I say, you know what, man? In honor of my friend, I'm going to get these Mountain Zevia. So I ordered a 24-pack of those. Plus, I have the energy drinks on tap. It's getting crazy over here. I got to be 700 milligrams of caffeine today. And let's get right into it. Brendan Schaub is absolutely wrong. In his recent podcast, he's been going in on the UFC. And whatever you want to say about the UFC, you can say the shows aren't as filled with stars as they used to be. There's not as much anticipation. They have way more events. Their schedule is full, so they have a way bigger roster. it's seemingly easier to get in the UFC because you only have to be 1 in 700 instead of 1 in 300. And so Brendan is taking this to mean that the talent is not as good. And he's absolutely wrong. The talent is better than it's ever been today. Now, there might not be the same level of stars. There might not be the star power. And that's not because the roster's watered down. The roster is bigger, but the lowest guy on the food chain in the roster is better than the guys. And he's talking about 2016. They're better than a lot of the guys in the top 10 in 2016. And I know that's not what people want to hear. They want to remember the good old days. Like, back in my day, fighters were fighters. No, bro. These dudes are good. Look at, like, for instance, Raul Rosas Jr. He got on Contender Series at 17 years old. Signed to the UFC. Made his UFC debut at 18 years old. Smoked a guy named Jay Perrin. Smoked that dude. It looked like a one-sided fight. Now, granted, if you were to say that maybe Jay Perrin shouldn't have been in the UFC, well, I can support that argument. You know what I'm saying? I understand how somebody got there about that guy. But Raul Rosas, man, a 17-year-old fucking phenom, good everywhere, and he's gone on to win like several fights in the UFC. The dude's like 21 or something now, or probably even 20. Like, that's what's out there. There's dudes at my gym that are 17 that are fucking good, that are like really good at everything. They don't even have jiu-jitsu belts. They can grapple, they can wrestle, they can strike, they can do it all. They've been training MMA since they were 4. They've got 13 years of MMA experience. And then I've got some dude talking about back in my day, 2016, that's when fighters were fighters. Bro, you're cooked. And I like Brendan Schaub, but bro, on this issue, Brendan is absolutely wrong. Brendan, you are wrong. The fighters are better today. The roster is deeper today. And they don't have as many big stars because they're not investing in the entire roster. They're letting the bottom of the roster fight it out. And then when they fight it out and they make it to the top 10, then they're looking at who can actually be a champion, or perennial title contender, and then they're putting the marketing budget behind those guys. That's what's happening. They're not doing what they used to do, which is like, hey, we only got 10 guys in this division. Let's promote a couple of them. Well, if you promote 2 out of 10, well, that's 20% of the roster getting promoted. But if you got 700 guys and you're not promoting every single person on the roster, well, of course it's going to seem like there's less star power. But that's not the point that he's making. He's saying that the skill level is worse. He's cooked. It's not worse. It's way better. The women's divisions are better. The men's, like, take Ronda. Ronda was an Olympic, I believe, bronze medalist. Kayla is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Ronda, at the time, didn't really have any hands. Kayla is pretty good at striking for being a grappler. Like, that's just the women's division. In the men's division, you don't think Ilia Topuria would run through the 2016 roster? Come on, bro. Come on. The 2016 roster. Heavyweight. Well, and maybe that's why, maybe he's biased because he fought at heavyweight. So he's looking at that like, oh, the roster's not as strong at heavyweight as it was back in the day. Bro, it's nobody wants to hear it. The roster's better now. It's just like when you talk to old heads about basketball and they're talking about Wilt the Stilt or somebody. It's like, bro, as much as LeBron James is out of his fucking mind, that guy can ball, right? He can play ball, right? Like the guys today are better. There's a kid, he's 18. He just broke the sprinting record. He beat Usain Bolt's record in sprinting. You mean to tell me he's not better? Dude, the kid's 18 and set a world record. What are we talking about? Sports evolve. The NFL evolves. The NBA evolves. Olympics evolve. Of course, UFC evolves. So, Brendan, you're wrong about it, bro. You're wrong. All right, guys. Enough. That's my rant on Brendan Schaub today, okay? Okay. He's cooked. He's wrong. That's absolutely not what's going on. And then he's also wrong about the UFC White House card. He's saying that the UFC White House card is the better card than the MVP card. And it's like, bro, to the absolute hardcore fan, they have better fights. But what's the definition of better? Are we talking about the more watchable card? Are we talking about the more name value card? Are we talking about who the actual masses of people want to see? What's better? What's better for the sport? Ronda versus Gina, is that the most technically competitive, highest level MMA match that we could possibly have right now? Well, obviously not. But if that's your only metric, like, then dude, then we're gonna get two Dagestanis fucking fighting each other in a grappling match, and nobody's gonna watch, and the sport will die, right? So at some point, you need name brand value to bring eyeballs to the sport, and Ronda and Gina are international celebrities who are fighting on Netflix. Of course, this is the better card for fans. Dude, I remember there used to be something called like, what the fuck was it called? It was like called Tough. It was like Tough. It was the Tough Man competition, right? Let me drink this caffeine in. Tough Man competition. And it was like bouncers fighting each other with no training. And they were just throwing haymakers. And this thing was one of the top rated things back when there were these things called televisions. And people would watch television. These guys didn't know how to fight, but it was high ratings because the average fan doesn't know how to fight. So if you've got people who have huge names and they're making a scene and they're bringing eyeballs to the sport, of course that's the better fight for the fan because the fan is invested in the name. The fan knows who the person is. The fan has a connection to that brand. And then in the event that it is a sloppier fight, the fan will get more out of it rather than a technical feint battle where they're just feinting each other for fucking 3 rounds or 5 rounds. Like, nobody likes the stalemate of the like, there's high stakes in this stalemate, but nothing's happening, right? Oh, this is a technical battle. It's a chess match. Nobody likes that. They want to see a slobber knocker. They want to see what we saw with the Incredible Hulk versus Curtis Blades. That's what people want to see. And so I believe that that's what they're going to get on this Netflix card. So to the casual viewer, to the average fan, to the masses of population, the Netflix card is the better card, even though the White House card is the technically better, purest martial arts card. Right? But if that were the case, then we could go watch katas, right? Because those are pure martial arts too. People want to see a little bit of sloppiness. They want to see a little bit of like, man, they're just drag them out, rock 'em, sock 'em robots. And that's not the most tactically intelligent way to fight. People like a less intelligent fighter sometimes. They do not always like the most tactically strategic game plan. So that's my rant on Brendan Schaub being wrong. He's wrong on 2 subjects right now, but Chael Sonnen is right. Uncle Chael is right. Uncle Chael is speaking about, which some people are calling that he's leaking, Conor McGregor's next opponent. He's saying that he believes the UFC has no reason to have Conor versus Max because they can't get another 10 years out of Max. And in the event that Max wins, because they're anticipating Conor's opponent will win because no one's ever come back from what Conor's gone through and won. Whoever Conor's going to fight, Conor's probably going to be the underdog and they're probably going to anticipate the other person will win. So who would they like to shine? They got to put the shine on somebody. They got to use Conor's brand to build the star of somebody else. And they want the maximum value out of that. So they're going to look at who they can get another 10 years of value out of. And it's not Max Holloway. So Chael says, and this is what I'm agreeing with. I've told you guys this for several lives. Go back and fact check me. Okay? I've been saying the fight that needs to happen is Conor McGregor versus Ian Gary. And if Conor wins, Conor fights Islam Makhachev for the title. And if Ian Gary wins, then he's the next star because he beat the previous star. He beat the biggest star of the previous generation, and now he gets that shine. And as much as we want to make fun of Ian Gary for his lifestyle, and he deserves it. His lifestyle is worthy of being made fun of. Okay? He has his wife have her personal trainer, who's her ex, living with them. Like, what are we doing, bro? And as much as you want to criticize that and clown him and make fun of him, and he deserves it, and let's hope he figures it out one day, right? We're all rooting for the guy. And as fun as it is to make fun of all that, right? The dude can fight. So if he beats Conor, he's in there with Islam, but he's coming off that Conor wave. That's the fight to make. And everybody's saying that Chael is doing his version of leaking it, where he says something and you have to read between the lines, because he can't just come out and announce it, but he can give you the information that they're looking at. And if there's a positive reception to the information, then that's what they go with. So if you guys don't know this, Chael is a proxy for the UFC. So Chael will test ideas on behalf of the UFC to his fan base, because he has the biggest fan base in videos like this, talking head MMA videos. And he will throw ideas out there. And if that idea gets a lot of play, the UFC takes note and moves in that direction. So sometimes they give him ideas they want to test. So right now, if they were looking at Max versus Conor, and they're trying to test to see if Ian Gary is the play, they're going to give it to Chael, let Chael leak it to the public, and then if the public reacts the way that they're anticipating the public will react, then that's the play they run with. And so if you guys are not aware, oftentimes that's what Chael's doing. Chael is either dropping knowledge where you got to read between the lines, where he's trying to tell it to you without coming out and saying it, or he's doing something on behalf of the UFC as a test to see how the audience, you, me, everybody reacts to that information. So next time you watch Chael's videos, just know sometimes that's what he's doing. We got, hey DJ in the chat. Hello from Thailand. DJ Sheepwolf in the building from Thailand. Out there. Hey, Sheepwolf is the DJ for Fight Circus, international DJ, guys, at the biggest freaking venue in Thailand, Club Illusion. It's like the 13th rated nightclub in the world. Sheepwolf's out there DJing. You know what I'm saying? And now he's DJing for Fight Circus at their weekly events at Candy Club too. It's dude, if you guys have never been to a Fight Circus in Thailand, get to Thailand and go to Fight Circus. And I'm not saying that because they don't even like. When I put this up, this isn't even me being sponsored. I'm just shouting them out, guys. That's a whole separate thing. I perform for them. But I'm such a fan of the Fight Circus product, I just let you guys know. Like, same thing with this. Zevia doesn't even sponsor me. Now, should they? Of course, obviously. Right? They should send me bags of cash because I drink them on every stream. But I'm just letting you guys know how I get down. I rock with Fight Circus and I drink Zevias and I love caffeine. Caffeine in combat. And if we shoot for 1,000 milligrams a day, we'll get in that sweet spot about 600-700, right? So Arp on the Don says, Mr. DJ. Arp on the Don says, that's my DJ. Let's go, guys. You know what I mean? All right, so next order of business. Snowflake Luke Thomas. And guys, you know I don't get political. I say that on every stream. I don't get political, right? I believe clavicular may be 20 years old. He may hit himself in the face with hammer. He may smoke meth to get solid cheekbones sucked out like that. He may do steroids. Okay, clavicular may do a lot of things that are questionable to the general public. But one thing that Clav's right on is politics or jester. So I'm not here to get political. I'm just here to clown Luke Thomas because Luke Thomas is in his feelings and we make fun of that around here. That's what we do here, guys. Luke Thomas is in his feelings and he's triggered by Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan literally just got Trump to approve Ibogaine for clinical trials to help especially veterans, but anyone who's got a drug addiction in America to get off drugs through Ibogaine. And it's going to be like available to the public soon. And he's saving lives. And Luke's triggered because they're at the White House. It's like, bro, get out of your feelings, bro. Get out of your feelings. Joe's a freaking liberal, bro. Joe's a liberal. But he's smart enough to go, hey, if Trump can pass this and it helps people, that's good for everybody, even though they don't agree politically on a lot of subjects. And I know what Luke would say. Oh my gosh, but he endorsed Trump. Dude, he had Trump on his show and he asked Kamala to come on the show and she declined. He wanted them both on. The dude supported Bernie Sanders. What are we talking about? And then Luke's in his feelings. Oh man, Rogan was out here pimping for Trump. Bro, shut the fuck up, bro. And then furthermore, I'm on one today, guys. I don't know if you know that or not, but I told you guys I'm not Mr. Middleman. I'm going to take a side. And this one, I'm on Joe Rogan's side. And so Luke Thomas is crying that, oh man, the UFC's going to the White House because Dana's friends with Trump. It's like, bro, that's what you got out of that. That's what your loser ass mentality got out of that, bro. Grab your nuts, be a man, and be happy that the sport you report on is at the White House. Now, can we say that the White House should have more Americans on the card? Yes. Should the Americans be given absolutely favorable matchups? Yes. We want to win. We want to win so much. We get tired of winning. That's what we want at the White House. But to cry about it is like wild, bro. To be sad that the sport you report on that pays your bills is going to the White House. And it's going to be the biggest event in combat sports. Like the most significant thing to ever happen to combat sports is UFC going to the White House. Now, the Netflix card might get more eyeballs, but in terms of like gravitas, you know what I'm saying? In terms of like, we've made it. The UFC at the White House, bro, you're hating on the fact that Dana got the UFC to the White House. Like, come on, bro. You got to put politics aside. You got to call balls and strikes. You got to call wins and losses. You got to call dubs and L's. And this is a dub for the UFC. An absolute dub for the UFC. Not to mention, if you had an issue with the American taxpayer paying for it via the White House paying the UFC, that would be one thing, but that's not happening. UFC's paying for it. They're coming out of their own pocket $60-70 million to put this event on for the American people, for the world, to showcase America and the UFC. They're paying for it out of their own pocket. And we got dudes complaining and crying. We've got people that are promoting different treatments that are going to save people's lives and lower drug addiction in America. Help veterans. Get people off of prescription medications. Get people off of narcotics. Save lives. And this dude's complaining because he doesn't like Trump. Like, bro, listen, man, we can be critical of what's going on overseas. We can be critical of, like, dude's not perfect. Obviously, Trump's not Mr. fucking perfect. That's what everybody voted for him for, because they were like, hey, this guy's not perfect. He's not up here trying to be Mr. Politician, right? So, yeah, if you want to be critical of the guy, be critical of the guy, but you got to call fucking dubs, and you got to call L's. So if Luke were to say, hey, man, Trump's taking an L overseas, the American people don't seem to want this war, that would be one thing. But to say that the UFC being at the White House is an L, like, what are you talking about, bro? If you want to be critical of the card for not being American enough, pro-America, well, then that's one thing, man. Because, hey, listen, I get it. Do I want to see Ilia Topuria go spark Justin Gaethje out? Absolutely not at the White House. Now, would that be a great fight somewhere else? Yeah. And can Gaethje maybe crack him and win? Let's fucking hope so. I'm going for the American. But guess what? He's the underdog. Why would they have an American underdog in the main event? That's the actual criticism of the White House card. The criticism isn't that Dana's friends with Trump and brought the UFC to the White House and he's paying for it out of his own pocket. Like, what are we... Bro, what fucking bizarro reality are we in where that dude thinks that's the hot take? Like, oh man, the UFC White House is crony capital. Shut the fuck up, bro. Bro, come on, dog. Grab your nuts. Be a man. Come on, let's go. Anyways, that's my rant on that subject. Speaking of people that got beef with the UFC, I don't know what, and next time I see him, I'm going to ask him. Because Aljo comes and trains at Extreme Couture sometimes. And Aljo's got beef with the UFC, clearly. And I don't even think Aljo has beef with them. I think they have beef with Aljo. I'm going to get into why. But when Aljo fought Sugar Sean O'Malley, Sugar Sean KO'd him. And I was like, I want to see how good Sugar Sean is. So the next time I sparred Aljo, I tried to hit him with the same sequence. Dude, he was hard to hit, bro. Like, I'll be real. Aljo took me down. I tried to crack him with the Sean O'Malley. He's apparently made adjustments, or maybe I don't just got the swag like Sean's got it with the basketball playing shit. You know what I mean? In between striking combos. Aljo took me down. He's a fucking challenging guy to grapple. He's good. I see why he was the UFC champion. Right? So that was my experience. I've sparred him several times, but that was my most recent experience sparring Aljo. I was trying to replicate Sean O'Malley, and I didn't land it like Sean landed it, guys. I'm going to keep it real with you. There's no cap here. There's no me trying to like make myself look tight. Oh yeah, man, me and Aljo. No, dude, he took me down off the fucking exchange. I tried to hit him with the Sean O'Malley. He took me down, right? You don't want to have Aljo wrestle fucking you. It's not fun, okay? So I wasn't able to land it like Sean landed it. So shout out to Sean O'Malley. That made me fucking have a new level of respect for how good Sean's accuracy is. Okay, so Aljo's apparently, he's done something to upset the UFC. Because he tried to have his Funk Harbor rum on the table for the press conference. This is a former UFC world champion. Multiple title defenses. He's trying to get a bag. Let the guy sell his rum. And if you don't want him to sell the rum unless you get a cut, well then partner with the guy, and now you got Funk Harbor rum on the table and you guys get a little kickback, right? Do so. But for whatever reason, they're like, hey, take the fucking rum off the table, bro. So they had him take the rum off the table. It's like, man, can't the guy just promote his rum? Dustin Poirier's out here promoting hot sauce. Conor McGregor's promoting 2 different liquor brands. Aljo's trying to sell a little rum. Nope. So I don't know who he's upset at the UFC. I'm going to go ask him next time I see him, and I'm going to find out what the backstory is, because I'm sure it's got something to do with him not taking some fight they wanted him to take, or maybe he said something publicly about fighter pay. I don't know what happened, but whatever happened, they did not let him promote his rum. So if you guys want to support a former UFC champion, go check out Funk Harbor Rum. It's Aljamain Sterling's brand, and you can get it at liquor stores near you. And if they don't have it, tell them to fucking get it, man. We support each other around here. I'm into building people up. That's what I like. I like supporting others. I like promoting others. I like people succeeding. So if you resonate with that, then you're in the right place. Let me check the chat. Goated stream. Hey, with all the goat emojis. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 goats. 5 goats. You know who the 5 goats are? The 5 people in the chat right now. You know what I'm saying? Let's freaking go. Dogs support dogs. All right. Speaking of dogs, that dog Khamzat Chimaev goes in on Ronda Rousey, guys. Fucking A, man. Ronda, people don't get what she's doing. She's doing exactly what she's getting paid to do, which is get everybody in the fucking UFC to talk about her fight at MVP on Netflix. Jake Paul said, hey, I'm going to give you the bag. And then what the UFC fighters should do is totally ignore her and not respond to her, not talk about her, and focus on the UFC brand. Instead, she's got them all talking about her, promoting her fight in a rival promotion. She's got them doing unpaid labor. They're promoting her fight for her by speaking about her. So the UFC world champion, Khamzat Chimaev, is now speaking about a woman in a different fighting organization that's rival to his fighting organization. And he's giving her free promotion to promote her fight on Netflix, which is a rival to the UFC, which is where he holds a belt. And Kayla Harrison's doing the same freaking thing. let me check the chat. We're going to get into the exact quote right now. Could Ronda beat the worst guy in the UFC? Could Ronda beat the worst guy in the UFC? We mentioned a guy named Jay Perrin earlier. She probably beat Jay Perrin. But other than that, I don't know. And I only just throw Jay Perrin under the bus because, yes, I liked the dude. But he had some comments about me when I bounced out of a gym that he later bounced out of, but I bounced first. So then he wanted to say something about me because I KO'd. I kick people so hard that in order to not get KO'd, they shoot takedowns on me and I rip their head off. And I put some people to sleep, right? Maybe I've choked some people unconscious. Maybe I've cut pro wrestling promos afterwards. And this upset him because he's a real martial artist and fucking hits the bag a lot and fucking cries on his fucking story. And from what I heard, he was on, this is allegedly, dude was on a bunch of drugs and shit and down bad and couldn't get a girlfriend and all this stuff and was mad because I had, you guys see how I do it. I got a freaking dime piece genius fucking fashion model influencer with 250,000 followers who's my girlfriend. You know what I mean? And not only that, she's won like the fucking world pageant in China. You know what I'm saying? That's my girlfriend. So I'm over here living life. Girls are throwing themselves at me. I'm rejecting girls because I got a dime that I'm in love with. You know what I mean? Like, so I can see why you would be mad at me, bro, if you were down bad. Anyways, I hope he gets his life together. I'm just throwing him under the bus for fun. Jay, if you're watching, man, I hope you're doing well, bro. And if you ever want to fight, I'll bounce your head off the canvas, but not like in like a me mad at you way. Just like it's not a big deal. I'll just do it just for fun because that's what I do. You know what I mean? I just do that to people, right? So it won't even be. It's not like a big deal, not like a hard thing to do, you know. And to be fair, he shouldn't fight me, right? Because I'm like a weight class or two bigger than him. You know what I mean? He's got every reason not to fight me. It doesn't even make sense. And the only reason I actually did want to fight him was because he was signed to the UFC at the time and he was talking shit about me. So he was calling me out. And I'm like, well, dude, tell Sean Shelby you want to run it with me at 45. I'll make 45. I'll bounce your stupid head off the canvas. I won't even submit you. I'll make you tap from strikes or put you unconscious with my shins across your forehead. You know. Anyways, he got himself beat up and cut from the UFC. So, you know, we're not worried about that guy anymore. So, well, yeah, talk your shit. Yeah, I'm just playing around. I'm having fun. I'm only interested in people that benefit me. So I will fight somebody if it moves me forward. Unfortunately, that dude fumbled the bag. He's no longer in the way. I'm out here doing my thing. You guys see. So anyway, yeah, I don't know if Ronda could beat any dude in the UFC. I would highly doubt it. And honestly, if we're being, I don't know. Maybe there's some dude she could maybe. Fuck, I don't think so. People were once saying that she would be like, she could beat top 10 guys in the 135-pound division, you know, but I'm trying to think if I know any professional MMA fighter male at any weight class that I would pick Ronda against, and the answer is no. So, yeah, I mean, I taught a private lesson today. I had a female assistant in the private. She is a national champion wrestler. She was having trouble with a 56-year-old, I don't know. He's not a professional fighter. He takes private lessons and he's good, but he's not like, he doesn't have any aspirations of turning pro or anything. So, you know, I mean, what gender you were born, what sex you are matters, guys. It matters. Men have more upper body strength, and that's just factual. You know, different bone structures, different hip ratios, different testosterone levels, different bone density. All that shit matters in physical sports. But what Chimaev said about Ronda is that he was asked about Ronda talking about the UFC and fighter pay and what he thinks about it. And he said, I got his quote. He says, I hate it, ungrateful. If they pay good or they don't, who cares? When she was an Olympic champ, what did she make then? Zero. So Hamzat is now commenting on Ronda and saying that when she was an Olympic champ, she didn't make anything. So why does she care if UFC pays or doesn't pay? And it's like, bro, you missed the plot. One, you're promoting her fight. Two, Fighter pay is important to fighters, bro. Like, what are we doing here? Let's all have a unified front and let's say, hey, man, look at what the fucking WNBA did. And I don't watch the WNBA at all. I'm sure it's garbage. Like, maybe, whatever, somebody can show me some sick highlight or something where chicks are like fucking 360 dunking on each other or something. Man, I'll change my mind. But as for right now, I'm just like, dude, I'm not super into basketball off the jump, let alone women's basketball, let alone a bunch of chicks saying they should get paid what the men get paid when they don't get the ratings the men get, right? Whatever. But they fucking got a raise because they unified and they were like, hey, we deserve more money. And they made a big ass fucking thing of it and they got more money. And now the fucking bench warmer in the WNBA makes more than most professional MMA fighters. Think about that shit. In a sport nobody watches, where the WNBA loses like $50 million a year, they are not profitable because no one cares and no one watches them. They somehow figured out how to get a fucking raise. And MMA fighters, for whatever reason, can't figure it out. And we've got the UFC champion saying it doesn't matter if you get paid a lot or a little. Like, come on, bro. You lost the plot. And speaking of losing the plot, Khamzat was talking shit on Sean Strickland, teammate at Extreme Couture, right? We ride with Sean. And Sean said, hey, here's my location. Pull up on me, bruh. And Khamzat didn't pull up. So take that however you want, guys. Speaking of people who are talking shit on Sean Strickland, Luke Rockhold said that he's hoping, Luke Rockhold is an American. And he's hoping that Khamzat Chimaev beats Sean Strickland because Khamzat's a good guy and Strickland's a piece of shit, in Luke Rockhold's words. But what people fail to realize is Luke Rockhold and Strickland were supposed to fight. They've actually sparred. Strickland did well, so well that Luke Rockhold says, oh man, it was pretty close, bro, but you know, he's rough and tumble. Like, that means it wasn't that close, dog. You know what I mean? So Luke Rockhold is out here calling out Sean Strickland on all types of shit. And when they were scheduled to fight, Luke Rockhold pulled out of the fight with a herniated disc. So say whatever you want, that fight didn't go down. They have sparred, and he's talking mad shit about Strickland. He's picking a fucking Chechnyan to beat an American while saying I'm an American, but I'm going for the Chechnyan guy. I don't know what's going... Dude, we live in a fucking crazy country, right? We're in the only country that does this. Every single fucking Mexican I know, even if they're an American-born person whose like grandparents were from Mexico, they cheer for Mexico in the World Cup. Like, America's the only country that does this, where Americans don't fucking support Americans. They'll go with the fucking Chechnyan guy. They'll go with the fucking Spanish guy. They'll do whatever, man. So I got a whole fucking thought process on that. I got one foot out the fucking door, because if America's not going to stick together, man, then what are we doing here? Why would we live here, right? We don't even have a unified front. The same way that the UFC fighters, the MMA fighters, and there's not a unified front where everybody's got each other's backs and it's like a collaborative effort to be like, to raise all ships together. Dude, that's what we need in America. We need a fucking unified front, guys. And if we don't have that and everybody's just cheering for whatever fucking country they have some distant relation to, even a dude who's an American is cheering for a Chechen against another American. That's wild. That's fucking wild. Hey, and you know, before I sit here and criticize Luke Rockhold, I'll be real, guys. We were talking about a former UFC fighter on this card that lost on this stream that lost to Raul Rosas. I was cheering for Raul because that was my teammate. You know what I mean? And the other dude was talking shit on me. So maybe I'm no better than Luke Rockhold, guys. But yeah, I would imagine if Luke is training with Khamzat, he's going to ride with Khamzat. But anyways, Strickland, back in the day when they were going to actually fight, because Rockhold said that Strickland is fake and that Strickland doesn't actually fight to the death. He promotes this to the death. And then when he goes in there, he fights differently than that. But Luke Rockhold didn't make it to the fight. Strickland says that Luke Rockhold would have been an easy paycheck because Luke Rockhold's a little bitch. So Strickland has bad blood with Rockhold. Rockhold has bad blood with Strickland. The beef is ensuing. We've got everybody going in on each other. And Khamzat Chimaev's talking about Ronda Rousey, guys. So he could have used that time to promote his fight in the company that pays him. Instead, he's using that time to promote Ronda Rousey and her fight. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Ronda Rousey, the MVP of the day. She's earning her paycheck because she's got 2 UFC world champions talking about her instead of the promotion that they fight for. Okay, so also, speaking of people who get paid well, Ari Emanuel, he's the CEO of TKO, which is the parent company that has WWE and UFC in it. He went from getting $18 million last year to a big raise of $67 million. So while these fighters are over here fighting for $12,000 on the undercard, Ari Emanuel gets a raise, and now he made $67 million. And to be fair to Ari, it didn't just jump from 18 to 67. Before it was 18, it was 64.9, I believe. Then this past year, it was down to 18. Now it's back up to 67. But that's in addition to his WME check, which is like 173 million. Right? So I'm not here to count the dude's money, but if you add that up, round it up, subtract a 0, divide by 2, you get a whole bunch of fucking money. So he's out here making millions and millions and millions and millions. And we got dudes on the undercard that have trained their entire life to make $12,000. So do the math on that, add it up however you want. And the WNBA players are losing $50 million a year and they're getting raises. So the whole fucking thing is cooked. The whole fucking thing is cooked, guys. And yeah, speaking of which, Clavicular's in the news. He bought a $5 million nightclub, and everybody has their opinions on it, where he got the money, what country funded him, why would that country fund him? Oh my gosh, well, he's an influencer, and they want to have his opinion because he's the #1 streamer. It's getting crazy out here. All I know is Clavicular says, politics is jester, and I believe that may be the smartest thing he's ever said in his entire life. Last but not least, Jose Aldo speaks out on Conor McGregor, his fucking lifelong rival. Conor fucking just embarrassed him, tormented him, tortured him, talked shit on him, insulted him, his family, his fucking country, and then KO'd him stiff in like fucking 13 seconds. Took his belt from him. And now they have a good relationship, guys. So it has a happy ending. Jose Aldo says that he has a good relationship with Conor now, and that Jose Aldo has congratulated Conor on finding Christianity. Let me check the chat. So what's the game plan to increase fighter pay in Dave's head? From Ashley Green. Is this Smashley? There's fucking Tough Enough Star Smashley in the chat. Let's go, guys. Smashley's got a big fight against a former, or maybe she's a current amateur champion in Utah. Let's fucking go. What's the game plan to increase fighter pay in Dave's head? Yeah, it's called Fight for MVP. That's the game plan. But I believe fighter pay will increase through the marketplace because I believe that Jake Paul and Ronda have a fucking sick game plan. Not only are they going to do MMA, they also have their boxing. Jake has a boxing promotion that's also called MVP. And he and his manager, which I discussed last night, if you were on the stream last night, you know what I'm saying? They have a plan where fighters can bounce between. So for instance, let's say Nate Diaz. Let's say he beats Mike Perry. He can then go do a boxing fight for MVP boxing, right? So now you might have crossover fights. You might have boxers that think they're tight coming to MVP MMA, which is highly unlikely because they don't want to get slammed on their fucking head and choked unconscious in front of the world, which is their most likely scenario. But they're allowing the fighters that are MMA fighters to go to boxing, whereas Dana has publicly said, and he can change his mind, but as of right now, there will be no crossover fights between UFC and Zuffa Boxing. So let's say Ilia Topuria wants to get a bag and go beat up Conor Ben in Zuffa Boxing, which I would pick Ilia Topuria to beat up Conor Ben in UFC, in Zuffa boxing. No crossover fights. Dana doesn't want to see it. But Jake understands. These people want to test themselves in different skill sets. They want to bounce from martial art to martial art, if you consider boxing a martial art, which, skeptical. Very limited rule set. But let's say Nate wants to go over there. He can box now. Mike Perry could potentially win and then go box in MVP, right? Like, so we're getting into this ecosystem where MVP is doing things that fighters want. They're paying better, and they have a bigger platform via Netflix. And I believe that is going to force the UFC's hand to retain talent and to not have all these fighter paid disputes and conversations and lawsuits and all this crazy shit go on. It's going to force their hand to pay better. So I believe that they will, in fact, pay better. The more they pay, the more MVP pays. Now we got a bidding war, and all fucking pay is going to go up. So I'm hopeful. I think the future looks bright. And if you guys are not following Smashley, go follow her, guys. She's got a big fight coming up. And, she's going to be out there in Utah. I'm telling her, drive to Utah. Peep Salt Lake. If you guys have never been to Salt Lake City, the actual lake is crazy. It's like fucking Mars. You step on the ground, it's like crunchy salt, but it's got like water below it. So it's like a crunchy salt sponge, and the water comes up. It's like, and then when I went there, the sun was out, so the sun's warm, but the ice hasn't melted, so the snow is still on the mountain, which is right next to the lake. So the water is draining, the snow is going through the rivers into the lake. The water's cold. I'm out there enjoying nature, soaking up sun rays and vitamin D while I'm cold plunging. I'm looking at a mountain. The ground is like fucking Mars. It's like an unreal thing that I've never experienced in my life. And I'm saying maybe check that out. And they also have a place halfway between Vegas and Utah called the Creamery, where you could actually see the cow that made the cheese at your mac and cheese. If you're into that sort of thing, farm to table, right? Which I am. I like to know the cow that's producing my dairy products. Okay, you can get mac and cheese there. You can get ice cream. They have a variety of things. That's a whole experience. So anyways, if you're ever in Utah, guys, pull up to the Creamery. They don't pay me, although they should. Let me check the chat. King David is the real MVP. We got F Bell 350. Bro is nature. He's the farm to table. Yo, and shout out to Felicia. She just won a national championship in wrestling. College wrestling national champion. Guys, if you're in the chat, you're in good company. You know what I'm saying? We have a world famous DJ. We have one of the top prospects at Extreme Couture. We've got a college wrestling national champion in the chat. We have Arpon Nadon, the king of swag himself. You know what I'm saying? Felony Charles Bennett is somewhere in here because I saw the moderation pop off. Guys, MMA legends. You know what I'm saying? That's who's in the chat. So you're in good company. So if you subscribe and turn on notifications, make sure you set the bell to all notifications. See, Felony says, I just got here. I told you guys, MMA legends, national champions, international DJs, top prospects, swaggerific, swagasaurus Rexes. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got going down, guys. I love you. Thank you for turning in the chat. I'm going to hop off. I stream every night. I'm streaming tomorrow, too.